SDGs under Meta Plus 2.0. My name is Sanjana and your host for today. Meta Plus 2.0 is organized by the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Club of the University of Colombo in collaboration with the Leo Club of the University of Colombo Faculty of Science, which is being held for the second consecutive year after the successfully accomplished Meta Plus 1.0, which was completed spectacularly on the theme of digital media marketing. However, we will advance this year by illuminating Sri Lankan undergraduates on the theme of research and innovation in tandem with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Meta Plus 2.0 will be completed in 3 phases, where the first phase is comprised of enlightening workshops for undergraduates around the country, and the second phase will be a video series corresponding to the United Nations SDGs. And we will conclude our project with the grandest and final third phase, which will be a competition for all young entrepreneurs in Sri Lankan national and private universities. I am pleased to inform you that we have completed the first phase of our project successfully. Today, we are going to commence the third video of our video series based on the goal of SDG 9 to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation, which is one of the 17 goals established by the United Nations in 2050 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. For this, we have a very special guest with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Ms. Ovini Madagedara. Ms. Ovini Madagedara is the local committee president at AIESEC in University of Colombo, also a project management intern, and she is an undergraduate at the University of Colombo School of Computing. Without further introduction, I am honored to introduce our esteemed guest speaker today, Ms. Ovini Madagedara. Miss, we warmly welcome you to the third video session on Meta Plus 2.0 Phase 2. So to begin today's episode, let's focus on yourself a bit. First of all, could you tell us a bit of yourself?
Yeah, sure. And thank you for that lovely welcome, Jana. And I'm Ovini Madagedara, a final year undergraduate at University of Colombo School of Computing. And I'm working as an associate business analyst at F4 Labs currently. And I'm also the local committee president of AIESEC University of Colombo. And a fun fact, you could say I'm a very passionate person about exploring new things. Yeah, so that's about me.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ovini, for the introduction. Ms. Ovini, as we all know, SDG 9 aims to promote sustainable industrialization and innovation and infrastructure development for inclusive and sustainable economic growth. So as my first question, I would like to ask, how can innovation in industry and infrastructure contribute to achieving sustainable development goals, particularly SDG 9?
Okay, so innovation in industry and infrastructure can, contribute to achieving SDG 9 in multiple ways. So if I run through those one by one, the first way I see where it comes into play is through improved efficiency, actually. So efficiency, innovation can lead to, development of more efficient and cost-effective technologies and processes, I believe. Which can, improve the productivity and reduce waste in industries. So this can actually result in reduced greenhouse gas emissions and other environmental impacts as well. And also, in the long run, it could actually create an increased profitability for the businesses because they create, they manage their resources very well. So you get something in return there as well. Right. So second is the improved accessibility from what I see. And also innovative infrastructure can increase access to basic services such as, energy, water, and transportation, especially in rural and underdeveloped areas. This can lead to improved living standards and increased economic opportunities for people in those areas as well. And from the third point, as what I see is the resilience, where innovation can improve the resilience of infrastructure and industries to address some difficulties that we are facing right now in the society, like climate change, natural disasters, and reduced land space, especially in islands like ours. This can reduce the impact of such events on economies and communities, and help prevent the future losses that are to come. And the fourth and the last, from what I see, is the inclusivity. Then again, innovation can also improve the inclusivity of industries and infrastructure by creating new opportunity for marginalized groups such as women and youth. Women empowerment and youth empowerment are things that are highlighted in the society today, very much highlighted, and this can help to promote a more equitable economic growth and reduce poverty thereby. So summing up, I believe that innovation in industry and infrastructure can actually help to promote sustainable economic growth and reduce poverty, and also protect the environment, which are actually sub-targets of SDG 9. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sovini. Let's move on to the next question. How can research and development in industry and infrastructure address the current needs and challenges in achieving SDG 9?
Okay, so it's like this. So someone could have the idea to address the current needs and challenges in the society with regards to the topic that we're discussing now, industry and infrastructure. But where to start is the first question that someone would get, right? So research and development, from what I believe, is the answer to that. Research and development, R&D. So the very first point, R&D will help you with this identifying the needs and challenges, the said needs and challenges. So R&D can actually, research and development can actually help to identify those key challenges facing industries and infrastructure, such as the need for more sustainable and efficient technologies and other solutions. And it would basically help to enhance the knowledge, capacity, understanding with regards to the same topic, and how the current trends affect those concepts as well. And additionally, I believe R&D can also help with the next step of the process, where developing those new solutions and improving comes into play. So R&D can help to develop new technologies and solutions, like I said, and innovations as well, that can support sustainable industrialization, innovation, and infrastructure development, such as for an example, renewable energy technologies, smart grids, and sustainable transport systems, which are being currently developed. And overall, R&D would play a huge role in achieving SDG 9 by developing new innovative technologies, improving the existing processes that we are having used right now, and also enhancing the knowledge capacity in sustainable development.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sovini. My next question is, what are some ways in which research outcomes in industry and infrastructure can be used to create valuable contributions to society?
Research outcomes would definitely bring huge value to whatever it is that's incorporated with, because you do research before you are applying something into the society. So yeah, so from the first thing I see is improved products and services. The research outcomes can lead to development of new and improved products and services that can actually cater the needs of the customer base and also the needs of the environment. And those outcomes are much more likely to be more sustainable, more efficient, and more cost effective as well. So these can benefit the consumers and the businesses by reducing the cost, improving the quality of the products and services, and also enhancing the competitiveness as well. And the second thing I would like to mention is optimize resource management. Yeah, so research outcomes can also, help to optimize the use and the management of resources that you have. Ultimately, reducing the waste and improving the efficiency. So this can actually lead to, more sustainable and resilient industries and infrastructure. And that can benefit society by reducing the long-term environmental impact and improving the availability of the resources, because since the wastage is minimal, the resources are saved. And the research outcomes could also enhance the safety and security of the industrial and infrastructure system. It would also create a lot of new job opportunities, like I mentioned earlier, with the identification of new paths, new avenues towards those solutions. And there are so many things I could, go on about, but summing up all of them here. So the research outcomes in industry and infrastructure can bring, like I said, a very big value addition to the society by promoting sustainable development, improving quality of life, and enhancing the economic and social well-being.
Thank you, Ms. Ovini. As my next question, I would like to ask, how can innovative approaches be integrated into industry and infrastructure projects to promote sustainability and inclusiveness?
So the most effective way to sustainability in the field is to, connect those two aspects in the very, very initial stage of the project. That is by, incorporating sustainability into the project design. That is the first stage of a project. So that way, each atomic step, each sub-step of or action taken within the project would align with sustainability. And ultimately, if we were able to, if I ultimately reach the sustainability as the goal. If I were to, give you some example, the use of sustainable materials, energy efficient technologies, and using renewable energy sources in the projects can become examples. And on the other hand, for inclusiveness, we can align the stages of the project so that we involve and listen to the local communities and marginalized groups during project planning and implementation. By doing this, we can ensure their needs and perspectives are considered in project design and decision making, which would bring out a more practical sense. And we could encourage collaboration and partnerships as well, to promote inclusiveness. So innovative approaches can encourage collaboration and partnerships between different kinds of stakeholders in the industry and infrastructure projects. Again, if I were to give you some examples, partnerships between public and private sectors, academia, and civil society. So these can promote the exchange of knowledge in expertise of different perspectives and help to build more inclusive and sustainable systems.
Thank you, Ms. Ovini. Moving on to the next question. What are the best practices for publishing research related to industry, innovation, and infrastructure to disseminate knowledge and promote progress towards SDG 9?
Okay. For this question, I'll go for some very direct tips so that anyone can easily grab them. So first point I would like to mention is identify relevant audiences who can actually benefit from the researches, and usage of clear language would play a huge role as well, so that the research is very easy to understand by a wide range of readers. And second point is, you can incorporate case studies and examples to illustrate the practical aspect, the application part of your research findings. So that would help out to bring out the actual importance of your work, which would, give it some additional value. And third point, you can make research openly accessible through, open access journals and maybe repositories, so that again a wide range of readers can easily find it online. And engage in fourth point, I would like to say engage in outreach to dissemination activities, such as social media presentations and workshops. So by doing those, you can engage and reach out to the relevant audience that you are targeting. And lastly, and most importantly, collaborating with stakeholders. So the people who actually know about the field, collaborating with them to ensure the research is relevant to the current society and address real world problems would bring out some more additional value because you are trying to do something to the society through your research. So those are the tips that I can give.
Thank you, Ms. Sovini. As the next question, I would like to know if there are any specific or any institutions, organizations that can provide guidance and support to researchers and innovators working on projects related to SDG 9?
Yeah, I actually did some small research on this actually myself, and I could find plenty of those such organizations. So, if I were to list those down, and if you were want to get an international overview of them, then you could, go towards UNIDO, known as United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and then you have International Renewable Energy Agency, known as IRENA, and the World Bank Group, and again UNDP, very familiar for everyone, United Nations Development Program. So these can be listed as some resourceful organizations if you are looking into an international overview. And if you want to get a local overview, then I would suggest Ministry of Industries, Ministry of Science and Technologies and Research, and National Science Foundation of Sri Lanka, NSF, we shorten it like that, and Industrial Development Board, IDB, would be some local organizations. So you can find many more similar organizations in the net as well. So I highly recommend you to reach out to these authorities. They have a lot of resources that could help anyone with their research if they are conducting such.
Thank you, Ms. Ovini. Moving to next question, Ms. I would like to know how can industry and infrastructure projects be designed and implemented to minimize negative environmental and social impacts and promote sustainability?
Okay, so I actually kind of vaguely mentioned this in one of my previous answers as well. So the most effective way to achieve this is by incorporating these concepts in the project process at the very initial stage of it, initial stage of the project. So that way you can ensure that each and every atomic stage, each and every sub-stage of the project minimize the environmental and social impacts and also promote sustainability. And overall, if you take the project, it will eventually achieve the same goals. So apart from that, there's something called environmental and social impact assessment called as AIESEC, which you can carry out to identify potential negative impacts on the environment and society, which can be addressed through mitigation measures. So through that assessment, you can identify the risks and mitigate them beforehand. And also stakeholder engagement, such as observing perspectives of local communities and indigenous people, can help to identify potential environmental social impacts as well from the practical aspects. So those are the things I would consider as answers.
Thank you, Ms. Ovini. As the next question, how can public and private partnership and collaboration between academia, industry, and government contribute to achieving SDG 9 and promoting sustainable development?
Okay. So again, I'll be very straightforward on this answer since I explained quite a bit of detail in my previous answers for this. So public-private partnerships and collaboration. So these two concepts, when established between academia, industry, and government, can take us a long way. So this can be achieved by leveraging resources, driving innovation, and mobilizing financing, developing policies related to those concepts, and also promoting inclusiveness that I mentioned in my previous briefings. So by working together, I believe these partners can bring their unique strengths and resources to the table to achieve common goals and promote sustainable development as well.
Thank you, Ms. Ovini. Moving on to our last question. Can you share some examples of successful industry and infrastructure projects that have made significant progress towards achieving SDG 9, and what lessons can be learned from these experiences?
Yeah. So keeping all the politics aside, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Colombo Port City project. So this project aims to build a new city on reclaimed land in Colombo that will serve as a hub for finance, logistics, and also tourism. And it includes plans for sustainable infrastructure such as green buildings, renewable energy, and public transportation system related as well. So that project clearly highlighted the of stakeholder engagement and need for robust environmental impact assessment in the process of developing. So that's something that I can give as an example. And I'll give another example, which is Project Ahead, that is abbreviated at HEAD, Ahead, Accelerating Higher Education Expansions and Development Project. So this project actually aims to improve access to higher education in Sri Lanka by expanding the facilities and upgrading the infrastructure at universities and other higher education institutes. So this project includes plans for the development of sustainable energy strategy for universities and the introduction of green buildings. So you might have heard some familiar universities as such. And a takeaway would be the importance of stakeholder engagement again and the need of effective monitoring and evaluation to ensure the project success throughout the project success from stage 1 to the last stage. And again, you can find a lot of details regarding these and similar projects in the web as well, which would be helpful for your researchers.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ovini. As the ending note, I would like to ask you, Ms. Ovini, what advice do you have for our listeners who are doing their researches on this topic?
Okay. So from my point of view, more than the fact that you are doing the research on this topic, it's more important to focus on the outcome as well. So my input for the researchers, as an undergraduate itself, would be to make it more relevant to the current local context, so that we could actually do something to the society through your findings. So that's what I believe, and that's it for what I have to say as well. And hope you got something out of the answers that I gave. And thank you very much.
It's a great advice. Thank you so much, Ms. Ovini Madagedara. That was a very indeed informative video session. Let me take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the organizing committee for gracing this occasion. We are indeed humbled by your presence here today for spending your valuable time with the betterment for the of the earnest youth of Sri Lanka, and I truly believe your words made an immensely positive impact on all of us. Let me also express my gratitude to the Career Guidance Unit of University of Colombo, Faculty of Science, for providing consistent guidance throughout. And thank you everyone for being a part of this wonderful location. We are excited to announce that we have reached the end of our video series and phase 2 of our project. Thank you for watching our video series. Also, do remember to connect with us through social media platforms for further details. Thank you very much again, Ms. Ovini, and have a great day.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you.